my name's Brad Goss, and I want to tell you a little story about how I got penalized by Google for taking part in some sort of shady search engine optimization techniques. About a year and a couple of months ago, we had a website that was ranked number 2 for an extremely high value term. I'm not going to say which one, but a really high value term on Google. And at its peak was bringing us in about 250,000 unique visitors every single day. And being in such a high competitive term, you're always doing something called link building, where you're trying to get lots and lots of other sites to link back to you. And in the process, we were running out of places to trade with and places to link back to us. So we started buying text links on websites. And I found out the hard way that Google doesn't want you to buy links on other websites, and in fact, they will penalize you for buying links. So here we were with this fantastic site doing about 250,000 unique visitors a day, making gobs and gobs of money off of this thing. And I was in London, England at a Bon Jovi concert, and my host sent me a text message, and he said, your bandwidth has dropped from 50 megabits down to 2 megabits. And he said, I just checked Google and it looks like your ranking's gone. And so I didn't think much of it at the time. Sometimes Google shuffles things around, but sure enough, we came back and the site was down below the 100 mark, and that usually means that you've been penalized. So long story short, we had a penalty, and a month ago, which was a year to the day, within give or take a couple of days, was a year to the day when we got penalized. I woke up one morning and my bandwidth charts were back up. And I started to look, and sure enough, we were right back to number 2, exactly where we were a year ago. We had been given a 365-day, some people call it a Google slap. It was a penalty for buying links. And it was just interesting to know that over that year, we did a lot of work to clean up our act, and we kept checking and checking and checking. I got to the point where I actually gave up on the website, just thought, this thing's never going to come back, and so I left it alone. And sure enough, a year to the day, came back on Google, and it's since dropped a little bit because we had let it go for a bit. So it's on page 2 right now, but we're working to get it back to page 1. But it sat at number 2 for a good month. The lesson here is, even when you're doing everything that you can to get to the top of Google, you should really be careful when you're buying links on websites. If you do buy links on websites, you should be adding a no follow tag to your link, because Google will ignore that in terms of it being a link buy. You're not, they don't have a problem with you buying links. They have a problem with you buying links specifically to game Google. So if you do buy links, make sure that the blogs or the sites that you buy them from attach a no follow tag or use a redirect URL or something else to send the traffic to you.